thank you all for your kind words. Any of my success doesn't happen without inspiration, support, and input from my clients, the community, my amazing public defender family, and of course, Jeff Adachi, whose legacy we continue to honor. Thank you, Mayor Breed. I'm honored that the city has chosen me to lead the office of the San Francisco Public Defender, and I thank everyone who has made this appointment possible, especially the office of the mayor, Matt Gonzalez, attorneys and staff from our office, my colleagues and mentors from other offices, and I want to acknowledge Oscar Barbaro and Bill Veal, two people that I just learned a world from in Contra Costa County, and members of the private bar. And most especially, my brilliant and fierce partner, Asha, my energetic and compassionate son, Asim. So happy he's here today with his buddy Kofi and my godkids, Vivian, Fallon, and Rowan. My mother and mother-in-law who are here, my father and sister who are here in spirit, my brother, and my beautiful extended family in the US and in India. As we know, the work of the Public Defender's Office has a significant impact on our community here in San Francisco. And that impact is born from a commitment by every attorney and staff with whom we work. A purpose and drive that is greater than ourselves, that strives to create a stronger and more equitable society. A commitment that is both professional and personal. For me, that purpose began long before I was even born. My parents come from a small farming town in India, and most of the people in that village are not born into what's considered the forward caste. Water problems, globalization issues, educational inequities, and social stratification meant that that community, despite their talents and beautiful spirit that I know well due to my mother's commitment, that we stay connected to our family in India, most of that community were denied certain privileges that are afforded to others. And the generational impact of that inequality is severe. The scales are not balanced. But in part due to the civil rights movement in this country, the Immigration and Nationality Act was passed in the 60s, greatly increasing the number of immigrants coming from Asia and Africa to the United States. And as a result, my parents decided to take the risk to immigrate to the United States in an attempt to try to shift the balance of the scales for the future of their children. They left their village with a determination to create a different life for generations to follow, and their actions are what led me to discover the law and eventually come to stand here today. I tell you that story because the role of the public defender in our society should be to balance the scales. It is a constitutional right established more than 200 years ago that is designed to make certain that all people, not just some people, are given the right to strong counsel, the right to have someone stand up in their defense, to tell their story, so that justice is not just swift, but equitable and conscious of disparities based on race, based on economic status, based on gender, based on sexual orientation, and based on national origin. But constitutional rights can't just be ideas. Dr. B. Ambedkar was a freedom fighter in India who fought against societal inequities there and was influenced by the civil rights movement here. And he said that ideas need propagation. They need life force, just as a plant needs watering. That's why we fight in the courtroom to avoid wrongful convictions and unjust sentences. That's why we try to facilitate and support effective rehabilitative and reentry services. That's why we have organizations like Mo Magic and Be Magic partnering with other community-based organizations to hopefully avoid youth becoming entangled with the system to begin with. That's why we're in the state capitol, generating and supporting reform efforts to support implicit bias training, to correct overcharging, to lessen exorbitant costs for phone calls and basic commissary for our clients in jails. This is what we do. And our impact isn't measured in numbers, but in people. By the mother who can return home to her kids, the son who can continue to support his family, the children of those we defend who benefit from having an equal opportunity to survive and who may one day use that opportunity, like I am thanks to my parents, to lead. Speaking of parenthood, I love being a dad, and I'm so thrilled that Asim is here with his dear friend Kofi and my godkids, Vivian, Rowan, and Fallon, I think is here somewhere. I was in a long trial years ago for a young parent who was facing life in prison. And I remained super fond of that client. It was a very stressful, hotly contested trial. And in the middle of the trial, it was Father's Day. And I received a text from the wife, the mother of the children of my client. And she said to me, "Happy Father's Day." And knowing what she was facing, her own children potentially never being able to see their dad again, except in a prison cell, for her to have that largeness of spirit in that moment, to think of me and to send me a Happy Father's Day text, that's the poignancy of that moment when I received that text has remained to me till this day, and I'll never forget that text from her. And it's because of that largeness of spirit of our clients and their families that I'm honored to be your public defender and to serve with all of you. This is our city, and our mandate as public defenders is literally to defend this city from those forces who might choose to turn it into a less just society. Together, we will not let that happen. This is the commitment by which I accept this position and the promise I make to all of you. Thank you.